P21 programme and repurpose that as a more affordable solution. So there are still options that are being considered in terms of how we will provide the community volunteer and wellbeing hub element to make sure it's all affordable and deliverable within the programme. Importantly then, if I just turn to the Levelling Up Partnership funding element itself, rather than the Boston Leisure project per se, as Councillor Sharp explained, the Levelling Up Partnership effectively is it's a £17.2 million programme, Boston Leisure Centre being 7 million, but there are 7 other projects effectively that were agreed with government as part of that partnership package of additional funding. You'll see the summary table at 2.18 there of what those projects are and the values that are allocated. And there is further detail at Appendix 3 to this report that just explains a bit more about what each of those projects are and who the project lead is. I do need at this point just to correct an error in that Appendix 3 document, if I may. Within the table, it refers to the PE21 Rosegarth Square project, and the wording effectively that's written into that appendix needs to just be changed. As the report comes forward to council on the 11th of November, it will include the correct wording. But what it should read is that funding to the Rosegarth Square P21 project is to fund and facilitate the regeneration of the former B&M site in Rosegarth Square, including activities for its future development. We'll make sure that wording is amended in the record for today, and obviously as the report comes forward to, subject to your agreement, as the report goes forward to council, that wording is correct. It is necessary effectively for council to agree to receive the funding, and for that funding effectively to be allocated as part of the capital programme, and also then in order to enable where there are external parties that are delivering those levelling up levelling up partnership projects to be able to progress those. So you'll see a series of recommendations, if I can move on to those, at the head of the report. Firstly, that Cabinet, if you're happy, agree the amended scope of the Boston Leisure project to incorporate the community volunteering and wellbeing hub that's required in accordance with the Levelling Up Partnership funding that's been offered. That Cabinet recommends to Council the formal acceptance of the Levelling Up funding programme from government, and that the Council's capital programme should be updated accordingly. We're also requesting that Cabinet delegates the authority to the Deputy Chief Executive for Communities in consultation with the Deputy Chief Executive Finance and the relevant portfolio holders to agree the final contract sums for both phases 1 and phases 2 as we progress that, and for the Deputy Chief Executive for Communities to award the contracts for those phases 1 and 2, provided that they're within the overall agreed revised project budget. And then lastly, that Cabinet delegates authority to the Director of Economic Development in consultation with relevant portfolio holder to enter into grant funding agreements with those external partners as is necessary for the Levelling Up funded projects. So thank you, and I'll leave it there for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Just before we go on, will you just go over that amendment you made to Appendix 3, please? So the
yes, the reference currently is to a Boston Community Diagnostic Centre, Rosegarth Square, PE21.
Yeah,
that's an incorrect reference. It should simply say Rosegarth Square, okay. PE21.
So we take out Boston Community Diagnostic Centre.
That's correct. And then the wording within the explanation should simply read, to fund and facilitate the regeneration of the former B&M site in Rosegarth Square, including activities for its future development.
Okay. You got that, Amanda? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And Sarah, you formally moved the recommendations that Mark read out. Do you have a seconder? Thank you, Sandeep. Councillor Ghosh seconds. And I'll now invite any questions from Cabinet. Okay, I'll start then. So once we undertake these works, have we got an idea of what the lifespan of the building might be once we've done all the refurbishment works?
There's no reason why the lifespan of the building won't be the 30 to 40 year strategic lifespan requirement that you would expect from a building.
Mm-hmm.
You're not fully replacing or
Mhm.
fully investing in a new facility. So
Mhm.
effectively, some of the building will continue to be the old building alongside the new extension. That it's likely that older building will require more ongoing maintenance and investment than the newer part will. But with the usual planned preventative maintenance and asset management program, there's no reason why you shouldn't get the longevity of life from that building that you'd be seeking.
Lovely, thank you. And so looking at the plans, you're going to, for the community and volunteering element, you're redeveloping the side of the building, which I think makes perfect sense. Have you got any plans for the back of the building as it is currently? What will happen then?
So I think that will largely be dictated by how affordable the extension is. If we can deliver the extension to the side as is currently proposed in the concept, then the space at the rear would be removed.
Okay.
And the rear tidied up.
Yeah.
Such that you do get a complete facility. If we find that we can't deliver the community volunteering element by extending, then we will utilize the vacant space for that purpose, such that you have a fully utilized and functional building, whichever solution is taken forward.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. And so thank you for all the work you've done on this, Councillor Sharp. I think it's fantastic, and I think the public, once it's up and running, will be really, really appreciative of everyone's efforts. We're also signing to agree, or we're going to vote to agree to accept all the Levelling Up Funding Partnership money. And you see there under 2.18 the list of projects that government have brought forward. And I think it's important to note these aren't all Boston Borough Council projects. We knew very little about them when they came forward, but we are designated as the accountable body under 2.19 for ensuring that these projects come to fruition. Well, it says there, we are responsible for ensuring the delivery of the programmes in accordance with the funding conditions. So I'd just like to invite Pranali just to talk to Cabinet about the group you've set up so that we can monitor and have oversight of all of these projects. I think that'd be useful for Cabinet to know how we're going to do that. Is that okay, Pranali?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So there are two elements to this arrangement about the funding. So first will be the MOU that the council will enter with the government to receive the money, which will be added to our council's budgets and the capital program. And then there will be separate grant agreements that the council will enter into with all recipient organizations. And that include a list of them, including the Boston College, Chestnut Homes, the Voluntary Services, Destination Lincolnshire, all those organizations. And those grant agreements will be used for cascading risks as well as all the responsibilities that we will be entering, we will be promising government in terms of compliance of the conditions. So that will be cascaded through those agreements to those organizations. Now, how we monitor this internally would be the program monitoring group that the leader you talked about. That will be managed by the council on monthly basis, where all the project leads from all organizations will be asked to come to the council and provide updates on regular basis. That will be the time when we check on progress on cost, progress on timescales, but also any risks that are highlighted and in terms of delivering the funding or in compliance to the conditions. Any particular issues that are highlighted or any risk that materializes, that will be brought back to Cabinet within the right constitutional agreements that cabinet will be making decisions if there are any major changes to those funding situation, if situation changes. But council will have full oversight, including member assurance, because the leader will be part of that group alongside the finance and legal colleagues attending. So there will be full oversight on all aspects of the governance, and we will be able to have enough points for highlighting those issues if they arise. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So I just wanted Cabinet to be reassured that Pranali is all over this. It's an accountable body. It's a huge responsibility. It's taxpayers' money, and we want to make sure that projects are delivered on time, in budget, and in accordance with the grant funding agreement. So, so thank you for setting that up. Councillor Ghosh, you've got some questions.
Thank you, Chair. So there are two parts to it. The first is identifying the risk. Second is monitoring that risk. So are we maintaining any risk register at the starting of the project? And obviously then eventually you will end up, monitoring those risks.
So again, two parts to that answer. So first of all, for the leisure project itself, because it's the council-led delivery, yes, Mark as the project lead will have its full risk register for the project delivery itself. For the program, as the wider LUP program, we will have a program level risk register, but each organization will have to maintain their own risk register for the delivery of their own projects. Our responsibility will be to ensure that they manage the risk internally within those organizations and highlight to us anything that's relevant to us as the program lead.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else got any questions? Rob, would you like to come in?
Yeah, just if I may, Chair, from a slightly different angle, we know that key leisure venues like the Jeff Mulder Leisure Centre are absolutely vital for supporting the health and well-being of our residents. So being able to bring a report looking at investing almost 15 million in that asset is quite a rare occasion for a local authority. So I think that's superb. And within the same report, as you've touched on, another 17 million being brought to the borough. I can't think of too many occasions in a reasonably long career where we've ever been able to bring such high values and good news to an area. So I think Cabinet should be really proud of all the work that's gone in to making sure this money comes into Boston. It's great news.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the officers deserve commendation for the hard work they've done in securing the funding. We know that there are health metrics in the borough, metrics around deprivation and poverty that causes great concern, and the point you raise, Rob, is absolutely valid for those residents here who need facilities like this, A, to learn to swim, B, to keep fit, and C, just to have a leisure facility that they can be proud of. It's really important. So yes, you're absolutely right. Well, you've got another question, Councillor Ghosh. Go on then.
Not really a question. I really want to thank the whole team and especially Mark. I know you have really worked hard on this. We are discussing on it for a long time now. And I will say it's a money well spent, especially for the community and the well-being in general. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So all that being said, the recommendations have been moved and seconded, so we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? That's clearly carried unanimously. Thank you very much. And that concludes this evening's business. I will now close the meeting. Thank you very much for your attendance.